It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8. It is 8:05 on a Tuesday morning, and here we go. Tuesday. That's right. The best that could be said for Tuesday is at least it's not Monday. I say that every single week, but it's true. You needn't go through the start of the week all over again, which you really don't want to do. Okay, man, yeah, I drove up here maybe 45 minutes ago, and man, was it foggy out there. It's nice here on Ashboy Hill. But in the valley, boy, it was really heavy fog. The last week or two is really foggy in the morning, but we are kind of coming up on autumn, and that's the way the weather changes, and it's absolutely gorgeous out there. I mean, I don't think there's any nicer place anywhere than right here. It is beautiful. Okay, let me see. The snapdragon. Now, a snapdragon's a flower, right? And I think a snapdragon is not a wildflower. I'm not quite sure. Not being a botanist, I don't know. But I don't think a snapdragon's a wildflower. But we don't have any snapdragons in our garden. And in the middle of nowhere, in Blacktop, I mean, I don't know how this happened, but there's a snapdragon, one, growing in Blacktop on our patio area there. Now, where that snapdragon came from, I have no idea. It's the weirdest thing. But there's this one lone little snapdragon all by itself. It's really nice. It really is, but I don't think it's a wildflower. Okay, that's kind of minor, and really, who cares? As you heard on Brian's News, New York State, Governor Cuomo has launched a statewide survey allowing New Yorkers to choose the state's new license plate. There are, let me see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibilities here. And the voting, which opened yesterday on the governor's website, runs through Monday, September 2nd, and will allow New Yorkers to choose their favorite among the 5 proposed designs. And while the photograph I have here in the story we printed out, it's a little, one looks like, let me see, the George Washington Bridge, that's good. We have the Statue of Liberty, of course. It looks like, gee, I really can't tell. Okay, the Statue of Liberty, George Washington Bridge. There's another monument or something on another one. And the other one looks like might possibly be Niagara Falls, and on the left, and something on the right. And the other one I cannot make out at all. Anyway, he says it's your choice. So they're going to have voting through September 2nd. So we can choose what our state's official license plate will be. And they will be available to customers beginning April 2020. Now, so right now, New York State, the DMV offers more than 200 custom license plates, many of which support charitable causes. And that's very nice. A complete list of available custom plates can be found on the official DMV website. But anyway, if you access the governor's website, you can vote for which license plate you want. See? Now, I have an idea for a license plate. Where is it? The governor said, license plates are a symbol of who we are as a state, and New Yorkers should have a voice and a vote in its final design. Right? So it should reflect what New York is. Let me see who we are as a state. Okay, I got an idea. You have a little cartoon of a taxpayer in the middle of the license plate, and the taxpayer is standing there with their pockets turned inside out, and they're shrugging their shoulders. Now, is that a possibility? Okay? Because if it reflects who we are as a state, probably taxes are number one. So, yeah, pockets turned inside out, shoulders shrugged, and that's New York State. That's only my idea. Just a thought. I have no idea. Let me see. Where did I get this? This was from an NBC television station in New York City. New York is the least friendly state in America. New ranking finds. New York is the least friendly state in America. New ranking finds. Oh, really? Yeah? We're unfriendly? Really? Anyway, New Jersey didn't fare much better, and actually appeared to get a harsher critique than its dead last counterpart across the river, which of course is New York. Let me see, and the story reads, "The Big Apple's got bite," as if you didn't know already. New York is the least friendly state in the entire country. Yay! According to an annual ranking from a global travel website that was released on Monday, yesterday, Big 7 Travel conducted a sample survey of its 1.5 million member social audience to determine which cities across the world are most welcoming for tourists. Survey takers were asked about factors like first impression at port of entry, whether that be an airport, train station, or other place, local attitudes toward tourists, neighborly feel, stranger openness. I don't know what that would mean. And general friendliness. So New York State came in dead last. That's right, Excelsior. The survey did laud New York for being a cultural melting pot and for the community feel of the neighborhoods in each borough. Just don't dawdle on the sidewalk or hold up traffic taking Instagram shots, the way the ranking says. The write-up for the Garden State, that's New Jersey, of course, was a bit harsher. The Jersey attitude can be perceived as just outright rudeness. That's what it says here. I didn't say it. New Jerseyans are known for their in-your-face personalities, the report said. So where you should go if you're looking for friendly, the friendliest states. Just take a guess. The friendliest state based on those criteria. Minnesota. Minnesota came in number 1 overall with its, quote, homey feel and locals who go the extra mile to welcome tourists. Tennessee came in second, while South Carolina, Texas, and Wyoming round out the top 5 friendliest states. So, New York State leading the way. Once again, the least friendly state in the country, according to this survey, which you have to understand New Yorkers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think New Yorkers are pretty friendly. I do. I really do. They just don't understand New York. I don't understand about that. And here at the Canisteo Valley, yes, we are friendly. So we're kind of atypical in New York State, I think. And we're probably atypical for most places in the country because we are a pretty friendly place, you know? And people are very, very good here. They're very good, honest, and kind, and caring. Yeah, I know. All of a sudden I sound honest and kind and caring. Yeah, but we are. That's how we are here. Okay, speaking of New York, let me see. You've heard about, of course, you can't really miss it, New York's red flag law. Well, it goes into effect on the 24th, which, according to my calculations, is this coming Saturday. And just a little refresher here. New York's red flag law is also known as the Extreme Risk Protection Order law. And that will allow a judge to order the confiscation of a person's guns if law enforcement, school officials, or a family member signs a statement saying they believe the person to be a potential danger to themselves or to others. The individual will also be prevented from buying any guns while the order is in effect. And as I said, the law goes into effect on Saturday. Now, I still, I said it before, and I don't know how effective that will be. Because, it says a family member, a family member, a school official, law enforcement, is maybe law enforcement, okay, possibly. School officials, maybe, possibly. But a family member, as I said, I think the red flag law, could possibly be misused by accident or abused on purpose. Because let's say, I said this in the past, let's say that some member of your family has it in for you. Let's say an ex of some sort, right? A cousin that doesn't really like you, or a brother-in-law, or whatever, How do you know it could not be abused or misused? And then you have a whole bunch of problems, So the law, as I said, which goes into effect on Saturday, the individual would also be prevented from buying any guns while the order is in effect. And after authorities take the guns away, a due process hearing would be held, where evidence would be presented, including things the person might have said to others or on social media. And after that, if the judge finds that evidence clear and convincing, they could extend the protection order for up to 1 year. Now you could see how that could be used as a weapon against someone. No pun intended, but it could be used as a weapon against someone. I think that's it's just a kind of, a little risky, I think. But one way or the other, it goes into effect on Saturday. So there you go. And a very much related story. This is from the Los Angeles Times. California's red flag law might be helping to reduce mass shootings risk, study says. What's the key word there? The one I emphasized, might. 4 years after, this is from the Los Angeles Times, as I said, 4 years after California became one of the first states to expedite the removal of guns from people seen as a public danger by family members or law enforcement, its red flag law appears to be helping to reduce the chance of mass shootings, according to a study released Monday by the UC Davis School of Medicine. The initial findings by the school's Violence Prevention Research Program were first made public just hours after Governor Gavin Newsom said Monday that he's interested in receiving a group of pending bills that would significantly expand the use of so-called extreme risk protection orders. At the same time, recent mass shootings in Gilroy, in California, as well as El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, have renewed the conversation in Congress about possibly adopting national red flag laws. UC Davis researchers examined 21 cases of people who had firearms removed or purchases blocked because of court orders. The researchers found that none of the individuals was later involved in gun-related violence. We can't prove that the orders are responsible for the outcome, said Garen Wintermute, a professor of emergency medicine and the director of Violence Prevention Research Program. But there is an obvious logic to this, he says, that if someone is posing an imminent threat, whether it's to others or to themselves, the firearms are part of that threat. Recovering the firearms can help reduce the threat, he added. The existing law, which took effect in 2016, resulted in judges ordering the temporary removal of firearms from more than 600 people after family members, there it is again, family members or law enforcement officials petitioned the court saying the individuals appeared to pose a risk of harm to themselves or others. Appeared, there you go. Of 414 cases through 2018, some 91% involved males and 61% were non-Hispanic whites, the study said. UC Davis researchers are continuing to collect information on orders issued, but the initial report focused on 21 cases where 52 guns were removed from individuals. Most of the subjects made explicit threats and owned firearms, said the study, which is scheduled to be published in the next issue of the Annals of Internal Medicine. A check of social media and newspapers found that none of the 21 subjects of the orders had appeared to harm themselves or others, the researchers said. So, how... I'm just kind of wondering, how is this working or not? I really don't know. Now, there are some cases where it has worked. Yes, where was one? This was probably a pretty good idea. Another protection order, this is in California, was issued when a high school assistant principal alerted authorities that a 15-year-old student who spoke favorably of the Parkland, Florida shooter and said school shooters are gods. Okay, that's probably cause to do something or other. I don't know. It's probably cause there. But how many cases might it be wrong? I don't know about that. And, I still, everybody's been thinking about this for weeks and weeks and months and probably a couple of years here. But, how do you stop all this stuff? How do you stop all this stuff? And once again, the guns don't do anything. The guns are sitting there minding their own business. And somebody with the problem picks them up and does a lot of harm. Now, at one time, years ago, I owned a lot of guns. I owned a bunch of guns. And I had a lot of ammunition. And I shot black powder. And I shot regular firearms. I never thought of harming anybody. Ever. Not ever. I was a recreational shooter. You go to a shooting range and you shoot these guns and you have fun and it's fun. So I never had the slightest thought of ever harming anybody, So guns are not the issue. Guns are not the issue. I met a guy in California who was interested in my black powder shooting. You know, I go outside and get my guns out there and ready to go out to shooting to a range or something. And he said, "Hey, you're really interested in guns?" Yeah, I sure am. Like black powder shooting especially is a lot of fun. He says, "Well, why don't you come to my apartment and see the guns I have?" And I said, "I lived in an apartment complex." I said, "Yeah, okay, fine." Whoa, okay. This guy could have been trouble. This guy had automatic weapons. He had a .50 caliber machine gun. He had hand grenades. He had stuff that you just don't find, you just don't ordinarily find outside of the military. And this guy was creepy. I mean, this guy was really, really creepy. And he invited me up to go shooting with some friends of his. And I said, maybe not. No, I never really have any time. And I really don't feel like going up there. I just, I think I'll pass on that. Anyway, that guy might possibly have been just a little dangerous. But as I said, I owned a lot of guns too. So the problem of people shooting people it's not the guns. It's not the guns. It's a combination of factors. I think the entire culture, right from the bottom up, has got to be reworked. I think it's time that people just looked at what kind of culture we have become. And there are so many things, honestly and truly, right now, I think it begins with a belief in God. I know that seems a little heavy. It's not even 8:30 in the morning. But yeah, it begins with a belief in God. And a respect and a regard for other people. And so many other things. Violence on TV, violence in the movies, violent the video games, just a lack of respect and regard, So you can't just blame the guns. It's a whole bunch of other things. So it's a very complicated thing, and there you go. I don't know. Okay, let me see here. That's right. Kirsten Gillibrand, U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, as I think I mentioned this last week, that she's in favor of a mandatory federal buyback program for assault weapons. Mandatory. And unless you go along with the mandatory and you sell the gun back, the authorities could come and confiscate your gun or rifle or whatever, I don't think that's such a good idea either. People are thrashing around here. We're just thrashing around, talking about this and talking about that. And I don't know. It's a very complex issue. Well, talking about complex issues, how about insurance? There's a complex issue. And unless you know what you're doing, you can make a whole bunch of mistakes. But if you go to the Ryan Agency, they can answer all your insurance questions because they are experts. They have insurance offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are local. They know what they're doing. They're experts. They offer sound, unbiased advice, and they don't work for any one company. See, they are independent. So if one company offers, if one company can offer you a deal, maybe another one can offer you a better deal, and they will look for the best deal for you. And they have a great website called RyanAgency.com. The Ryan Agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NFL, where Oakland Raiders star wide receiver Antonio Brown returned to the team a day after walking out and then being called out by the team's GM. Brown, still upset over not being able to wear an older and what the league believes is unsafe helmet, has filed a new grievance with the league, claiming he should have had a full calendar year to adjust to the new helmet standard. NFL preseason, 49ers beat the Broncos 24-15. San Francisco quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, playing in his first game action since suffering a knee injury last year, was 1 of 6 passing for 0 yards, no touchdowns, and he threw an interception. In baseball games of note, the Cardinals shut out the Brewers 3-0. St. Louis rookie Dakota Hudson and 2 relievers combined on a 1-hit shutout. They had no hit the Brewers until the 8th inning. St. Louis is a half game up on idle Chicago for first in the NL Central. Milwaukee falls 2.5 games out of the final wildcard spot in the National League. Rays fall to the Mariners 9-3. Tampa Bay's lead on idle Oakland for the final wildcard spot in the American League's down to 1 game. Twins lose to the White Sox 6-4. Minnesota's lead on idle Cleveland for first in the AL Central is down to 2 games.
From the Fox Business Network, production at a major U.S. steel plant could be halted for more than 6 months. Reuters is reporting U.S. Steel will temporarily lay off up to 200 workers from its Great Lakes facility near Detroit. The Steelworkers Union says it believes there could be layoffs at the facility in Gary, Indiana as well, though the company says it doesn't expect layoffs there. U.S. Steel previously has blamed lower steel prices and weakening demand for softer business. States are planning their own antitrust investigation of big technology companies. The Wall Street Journal says the probe will focus on whether a handful of dominant tech businesses use their size to crush competition. The Justice Department is conducting a similar federal investigation. The Dow was up 249 yesterday. NASDAQ added 106, S&P up 34. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/joy. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, New York, you'll find brand new 2019 Nissan all-wheel drive Rogue SV models equipped with heated power seat, 17-inch alloys, remote start, and motion-activated liftgate for only $23,999. Shop Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads or Hornell. Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Well, you know, there are a lot of good things out there and good people. Luckily, that's a very good thing. I got this from mlive.com, whatever that is, mlive.com. Customer services representative 800 miles away helped save the life of a man having a stroke. This was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. A 911 call made by a Comcast representative in Mississippi helped save the life of a West Michigan man who suffered from a stroke. Thanks to the customer services representative's quick thinking, Dan McGinnis, 65 years old, was able to walk out of the hospital with minimal symptoms after just 2 days after suffering from the stroke. McGinnis of Walker, Minnesota, was home alone Tuesday, August 13th, and called Comcast customer services to address the problem with his cable. He put his phone on speaker and placed it on the table so he could take notes while he spoke. But when the customer services rep answered on the other end, McGinnis was unable to get a word out. "Sir, can I help you?" the woman asked. "Sir, are you okay?" But McGinnis was unable to reply. The only sound he could muster was He tried to move, but he realized his right leg wouldn't. And it was then that he realized something was terribly wrong. "I started to panic. I would try to say something," he said, "and I just couldn't. I couldn't move," he said. "Within 20 to 30 seconds, I started to think maybe it was a stroke, but I wasn't able to tell the representative that." So more than 800 miles away, when Kimberly Williams was the Comcast representative on the other end, on the phone from Jackson, Mississippi, Williams could tell something was wrong with the man she was speaking with. "I had confidence on my heart," she said. "I knew something was wrong with him. I could hear through the phone that something was wrong." Williams notified her supervisor and pulled up Google on her computer to search for a police department in McGinnis's area. After contacting several police departments around Grand Rapids, she finally found the one that was near him and explained the situation to fire officials. The Walker Fire Department explained the situation. She stayed on the phone with McGinnis for 5 minutes, and thanks to her quick thinking, Walker authorities soon showed up at McGinnis's door. So the paramedics took him to a hospital, and indeed, he was having a stroke. So he's okay now, and he thanks her a lot. And he says, "I had a stroke, and 2 days later I'm walking out of the hospital. It's incredible. Most stroke victims don't get to walk out of here like this." So there we go. Isn't that wonderful? Wowee. So the quick thinking of this representative, and the guy is okay. Yeah, there are good people out there and good, smart, quick-thinking people, and she obviously was one of them. Okay, that seems to be it. I hear the sounder going there. Okay, I will see you tomorrow morning at 8:05. Bye.